looks at practice this week. Now, you're referring to, of course, the incident this past summer, this July, at his in-laws' house when there were 5 misdemeanor charges brought against Richard Sherman. The league is still looking into that, but it doesn't seem right now like it's going to stand in the way of him playing while it looks into that situation. Richard Sherman addressed that, said that he's been treated for that. He's made improvements from that. We'll see what the league decides to do, if anything, from that. But in the interim, the Buccaneers have gone ahead and signed Richard Sherman to a 1-year contract, knowing that they need help in the secondary, knowing the type of competitor that he is. And we all know the history of Richard Sherman and Tom Brady. Once, when Seattle beat the Patriots, Richard Sherman went up to Tom Brady when he was just getting started in this league, making a name for himself, and he said, "You mad, bro?" And Tom Brady's not mad anymore right now. He's happy to have Richard Sherman on the same team.
Yeah, it's a little different when they actually get to be teammates. More Adam Schefter coming later on in this show. And a reminder of just what the Bucs are getting in Richard Sherman. His 36 interceptions, the most by any player since he entered the league in 2011. Now, listen, Marcus, the thing about it is you're saying solid because we know the greatness of Sherman maybe in the earlier part of his career. Maybe it's a little bit less certain at this point, but what do you think the Bucs are getting in him?
They're getting an experienced player that understands how to play the game. And sometimes that can compensate for what you lack physically, right? Richard Sherman is not going to be asked to line up and play man-to-man every play in this defense. That's just not what you can ask him to do. But what he can do for this secondary is help those other guys in their maturation process. And obviously this is a move because they're limited. They're thin on the back end as well. But he understands how to play football. I learned that from guys like this sitting next to me, from Keyshawn and Greg Ellis and a lot of my vets when I came into Dallas. Yeah, some of the athleticism may have fleeted. Some of the things that they were able to do may have fleeted, but they understood the game. And they were able to teach a lot of us about positioning, winning the play before the snap actually happens. And I think that's what Richard Sherman is going to bring to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Another coach is what you're getting. You get another brain. I mean, I don't even want to go into his academics at Stanford. Let's leave that alone. Finishing in the top.
USC guys. Whoa.
You know, brain-wise, they're getting a leader in the locker room. And like Marcus said, we really don't know what we're getting on the field. This signing is interesting because Richard Sherman's skill set does not fit the defensive scheme, traditionally what we think in Todd Bowles. Yep. But when you're a good defensive coordinator, you know what to do with him, where to put him at, how to tell him to do certain things. And he has an eye for the football. Turnovers is key for him. He's always around the football. Great things happen to him. You know, you remember what Coach Parcells always said, a guy like that, bad things happen to. But in Richard Sherman's case,
good things.
Always something good has happened. Fumbles, causing fumbles, interceptions, whatever the case may be.
This team misses Sean Murphy-Bunting big time.
Yeah.
Their nickel who
100%.
went out week 1. You know, I've watched the secondary. Whitehead's out, then Murphy-Bunting's out, then Carlton Davis is out for a second, and then Jamel Dean's out for a second. You know, it's like, if I'm speaking from an offensive perspective, if you told me I was playing against a defense and they lost their nickel or they lost their outside corner, I'd feel way better if they lost their nickel because he does so much. I want to move my receivers around, and that nickel just controls so much. It's a longer throw to the perimeter, obviously, than work in the middle of the field. And so I hope that Sherm kind of brings some veteran presence and solidity to that secondary, but they got to get healthy. And everyone keeps talking about the rush, that it's the same pressure as it was, just not sacks last year. Last year, the rush was tied to the coverage. And right now, they might be getting pressure, but dudes are open.
Yeah.
So if Sherm can just bring a little bit of a more sticky coverage mindset, the rush can get home a little bit. And that's why I think the move, in my opinion, think the rush is coming. Because there's no way if you think the rush isn't getting there, you're signing Sherm.
No way.
It's not locked down. You know, so I think that the staff and organization thinks the rush is getting there.
The back end of the defense so often affects the front part of it as well in big ways. All right, let's get to a little bit more on this game because this one's going to be fascinating on both sides. As the Bucs and Brady return to Foxborough this Sunday, it's Brady's 303rd start, bringing a career first, playing in a New England as a visiting quarterback. It's never happened for him. He's looking to join Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and Drew Brees as the only starting quarterbacks to defeat all 32 current franchises. So let's bring in our Patriots reporter, Mike Reese from Foxborough. Mike, what is Bill Belichick saying about facing Tom Brady, his old quarterback, on Sunday?
Laura, I want to take you inside the Patriots media room this morning. That door swings open at 11:45, and there was a little bit of uncertainty as to what this is going to be like. And Bill gets up to the podium, flashes that huge smile, and says, what's going on? Got any big stories? I can think of a few big ones, and one of the big ones is how are the Patriots going to keep up with Tom Brady? Here's Belichick on Brady.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's had an unbelievable career. I mean, you can't, there's not enough superlatives and adjectives to compliment him on everything that he's achieved and continues to achieve. So, yeah, it's unbelievably impressive. Yeah, no, nothing Tom does surprises me. He's a great player. Works hard, takes care of himself. I mean, he's talked about playing till 50. I mean, if anybody can do it, he probably can. It's just tough. It's as tough as any quarterback there is or ever has been. I mean, enough said.
I asked around the team if there are any plans to honor Brady on Sunday night, and what came back to me, Laura, is that they want to keep it a little bit of a surprise. They want the fans that are going to pack this stadium to maybe have a little bit of an unexpected surprise as to what's to come. But basically what came back to me was that anything that you would expect a legendary player returning to where he played for a long time and accomplished great things, that's probably what you can expect on Sunday night.
Yeah, so many people there certainly still love him, Mike. You should have heard everybody in here laughing as Bill Belichick's talking about Brady, reflecting on him. Just great from the press conference earlier today. Enjoy it, Mike. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Laura.
Let's get to the other major stories. Some reporting coming out today from ESPN senior reporter Seth Wickersham's upcoming book titled It's Better to Be Feared, the New England Patriots Dynasty and the Pursuit of Greatness. Wickersham writes, quote, Brady was tired of taking team-friendly deals with no input into how the money saved was spent and still wanting a long-term contractual commitment. Belichick told associates that every organizational decision now was in support of Brady, geared toward pleasing him and making him successful, and that Robert Kraft, meddled with the team, sometimes with opinions, sometimes with restrictive budgets. Wickersham also reported that when Brady made the decision to leave New England for Tampa, he wanted to say goodbye to Belichick in person. Belichick said he was not available and instead requested to say goodbye over the phone. Belichick was asked about the report today, and here's what Bill had to say about all of it.
Yeah, no, that's not true. And I, heard a few things about, this book, and sounds like it's a lot of, second, third, and fourth hand comments. So, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to focus on this game and try to prepare for the Bucs.
Okay, Key, what do you make of this situation?
Well, first of all, I like the consistency with Bill Belichick. Treat everybody the same. Now I'm going to go backwards again, Laura. I don't like the fact that he puts Tom Brady in that box, right? If that's the case, if that is the case, clearly I need a little more context in terms of everything, because Bill's saying one thing, the book says another. And you would think, Dan, after 20 years of dating, we together, man, and I see you walking down the street and I don't speak to you. It's just that doesn't, people don't do that.
Yeah.
It's not
So
normal.
it's kind of like it's not normal, but in every single organization and every single relationship, there's always issues. And I'm sure Tom wanted to be treated a certain way, and he should have been treated a certain way. If Tom want to fly home private without the team, not a problem. If Tom want to miss practice, not a problem, because for 20 years, 6 championships, and 9 appearances in the Super Bowl, you do what the hell you want to do. You do what you want to do.
For real.
Real talk.
And listen, man, this morning before I heard Belichick respond to this, I was like, that is the ultimate disrespect for him not to meet face to face and end it on those terms. But the fact that Bill is saying that that's not true, either I'm eating my word, somebody lying. That's
right.
One thing. Somebody lying. Somebody lying.
Maybe okay, so I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a lie. Maybe it's Bill's overseas in Europe, and he doesn't want to come back, and he says we could talk on the phone. Maybe it's
there
that.
Could be some
Something.
sort of truth in the middle there.
Yeah, variance to it.
Maybe.
Listen, okay.
Guys, it's funny because Bill Belichick is like looking over our shoulders back there. I just can't deny that he's like here in the conversation.
Either way, for all of this information to come out, we know something was wrong. We know there was some uneasiness about the departure between him and Bill Belichick.
All right, they're the greatest ever, right?
Yeah.
Greatness isn't comfortable, man. Like, I'm not shocked or surprised that there's reports coming out that there were some bumps along the road of 20 years. Yes. It's the greatest 2-decade run in the history.
Yeah, but we talking about the end.
But we're talking about this is all about the whole process, or even the end, Marcus. I'm not surprised.
Middle to the end.
I'm not surprised that one of the most egotistical in a good way and kind of intense and maniacal coaches ever maybe didn't see things the same exact way as one of